Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to ASA International Forum 2015. Every year, we aim to bring in speakers from all over the world to share their ideas and to tell us how they work. We are well pleased to have 6 compelling and exciting lectures this year. And today, you will be listening to 3 inspiring speakers. John Lin in the morning session, Peter Rich in the afternoon session, and Ajahn Bunserm Prem Thada in the evening session. All of them will be exchange their ideas with us. Well, before we start our day, please let me introduce the chairman of Architect Expo 2015, Kun Chana Sampalang, to give us a welcome speech. Please welcome Kun Chana.
Maybe I start for the Thai first, and then thank you for being here later. ก็ในปีนี้นะครับ2015งานสถาปนิก2015ปีนี้เราก็ได้รับเกียรติจากเกสหลายๆท่านซึ่งมีจิตวิญญาณของความเป็นครูสูงมากๆจริงๆวันนี้ปีนี้เนี่ยเราคิดว่างานสัมมนาทั้งหมดที่เกิดขึ้นในนี้น่าจะสร้างความรู้สึกลึกๆในใจของทุกคนได้ที่จะแสดงถึงความเป็นตัวตนคนไทยที่มีอยู่ในใจลึกๆของเราแล้วก็สร้างอินสปิเรชันที่ทำให้เราเนี่ยก้าวเข้าไปสู่ในปีต่อๆไปได้ในอนาคตซึ่งในปีนี้เนี่ย I would like to thank you all the guests that come from I think all over the world which is some speaker come very far from Bangkok area. I heard that you have to fly for more than 40 hours to be here and to be with us to share the idea, which is very thank you for that. And then everyone start with John Lin, with Mr. Peter Rich, Ajahn Bunserm Prem Thada, Solano Benitez, which is from Paraguay, Kun Amata Rupaibun and Tawiti Tepakam, and finally with Mr. Fernando Manis, which is all of you. You may see that the work that we select this year is come in one direction, which is our intention of a community team that would like to choose some architect that have very strong in a spirit of teaching, in a spirit of making things for that contribute to the society, which is this goodness in all of them. I think they would touch our heart, and then I would like this event to thank you all of you from bottom of my heart. Thank you, and then hope you guys enjoy the lecture from today and tomorrow. It will be fun, and then our event would be cannot succeed without all of your supportive. Thank you.
Next, I would like to ask Kun Desha Kombunma, Vice President Marketing of NS BlueScope Thailand, the sponsor of this event, to be on stage to say some words to the audience. Please welcome Kun Desha Kom.
That's เป็นความผิดพลาดของผมอีกอันหนึ่งจริงๆผมอยากจะกล่าวขอบคุณsupportตลอดกาลของผมนะครับซึ่งเราอยู่กันมาน่าจะเป็นปีที่2ใช่ไหมครับก็คุณทาง BlueScope Steel เนี่ยก็ได้ให้การสนับสนุนให้เรามีอีเวนต์ดีๆตลอดมาโดยเฉพาะInternational Forum ผมขออนุญาตขอบคุณด้วยตัวเองอีกครั้งตรงนี้นะครับครับ
ก็ครับผมขอบคุณครับขอบคุณนะครับขออนุญาตเป็นภาษาอังกฤษเป็นทางการนิดหนึ่งนะครับ Dear คุณชนะสัมพลัง Chairman of Architects Expo 2015 หม่อมหลวงวรุธวรวัน Chairman of ASA International Forum honorable speakers, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Desha Kombunma, Vice President of Marketing, NS BoothScope Thailand. First of all, I would like to thank to ASA for giving us such a great opportunity for BoothScope to become a prime supporter of ASA Forum again. As per ASA Forum objective, to promote knowledge sharing, sharing of learnings and ideas among the architects. BoothScope, as a leader in steel solution, also has a mission to inspire the architects and designers to exercise their creativities through the use of steel products and technologies. Through the use of steel product and technology, for example, our clean color bond thermatic steel, which you saw the video a moment ago, it is invented to serve the building design flexibility. It also provides the energy saving and it even long-lasting beauty. Therefore, by continuing support this event, it is also ultimately in line with our company goal as well. Finally, I would like to thank to ASA and all the speakers for your sharing and contributions today. I wish Kun Chana and ASA another year of success in organizing such a great event. And finally, to all the audience, I hope you enjoy the forum today and 3 days. Thank you. ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you, Kun Chana and Kun Deshakom. Before I introduce our first speaker of today, please allow me to remind you to turn off your mobile phone. For those of you who use translating headset, please adjust the volume to an appropriate level, not to disturb others next to you. For those of you who need CPD score, please sign your name after you leave the room, and parking receipt can be stamped in front of the hall. สวัสดีแล้วก็ยินดีต้อนรับท่านผู้ชมทุกท่านนะคะเข้าสู่อาสา International Forum ประจำปี 2015 ก่อนที่เราจะเริ่มรายการกันในวันนี้นะคะขอความกรุณาทุกท่านปิดโทรศัพท์มือถือสำหรับท่านที่ใช้อุปกรณ์ในการแปลภาษาขอความร่วมมือในการให้ท่านเนี่ยช่วยปรับระดับเสียงให้อยู่ในระดับที่เหมาะสมนะคะเพื่อจะได้ไม่รบกวนผู้ฟังข้างเคียงในกรณีท่านที่ต้องการแต้มพวต.นะคะปีนี้เนี่ยเราเปลี่ยนระบบใหม่นิดนึงนะคะกรุณาเซ็นชื่อที่เคาน์เตอร์ด้านหน้าภายหลังจากตัวการบรรยายสิ้นสุดลงนะคะแล้วก็ท่านที่ขับรถมาเนี่ยสามารถประทับตาจอดรถได้ที่ด้านหน้าของงานค่ะ Now it's time to begin our day. John Lin is an architect based in Hong Kong and currently an associate professor at the University of Hong Kong. He was born in Taiwan and immigrated to the US. After studying in both the art and engineering program at the Cooper Union in New York City, he received a professional degree in architecture in 2002. With the objective to engage the rural-urban transformation of China through build projects, researches, exhibitions, and writing, John Lin, together with Joshua, set up Rural-Urban Framework, which is a research and design collaborative based at the University of Hong Kong. The Rural-Urban Framework is a non-profit research and design organization dedicated to developing sustainable prototypes for rapidly urbanizing areas. Their approach combines research into the large-scale processes of urbanization and integration of local construction practices with contemporary technology. Rural-Urban Framework projects have received numerous international awards, including the Love Erskine Award 2014, given for innovation in architecture that benefits the less privileged in society. Rural-Urban Framework is also the recipient of Architectural Record Design Vanguard, an Icon Award Emerging Architectural Practice of the Year in 2013. The House for All Seasons, which is a rural prototype built in China, is the winner of the Architectural Playfields House Award in 2012, the WA Chinese Architecture Award 2012, and the Wienerberger Brick Award in 2014. Other notable projects include high commendation in the AR Emerging Architecture Award for Qingmo Village School 2009, Taiping Bridge Renovation 2010, and Tongjian Recycled Brick School 2012. A recently published book entitled Rural Urban Framework, Transforming the Chinese Countryside, presents the research and projects of the Rural Urban Framework in over 18 villages in China, which discuss not only successful projects, but also failures and speculations on the changes in rural China since 2006. Please welcome John Lin.
Hello. Sawadee krap. I was sitting there trying to figure out where I should stand, for these 2 hours, and then I had decided I was going to go stand at the podium, but then they removed the podium. So I'm still a little bit confused because I thought it'd be better to start on the less comfortable and then move to the more comfortable. So I start here, then it's going to be over very quickly. I usually, as a rule, don't speak for more than an hour each time. So I don't want to get in between you and your lunch, But maybe we can have a slightly longer discussion. And it's I think the result of my short attention span. But it's an honor to be here. Thank you so much. I suspect that we're going to be hearing a lot about architecture that affects various communities, that tries to work with communities. And what's been, I think, quite wonderful, quite inspiring the last few days has been to begin to witness and to visit and get to know your community. Because I think also architecture, in being creative and having a common cause for architecture, you also need a community of architects together, and it's been great to join your community. I have a short introduction, which I need my notes for because we're still trying to figure out what we're doing. But a title which is taken from Bernard Rudolphi's book on architecture without architects. So this talk is a reflection on the impact of a decision we made to practice architecture at the periphery of the profession. This framework has created some strict limitations on what we can work with, but it has also led to some surprising freedoms and encounters with complex social and political issues that are based around spatial organization, and therefore make it possible for architecture to engage directly. By the term periphery, I mean it in two ways. It means we try to make architecture without being directly commissioned by a developer or a client. We operate as an architecture NGO. Our funding often comes in the form of donations, academic grants, contract research. So the funding is a combination of different streams. We're a little bit like Robin Hood. We take all sorts of little pieces and put them together. This allows us to approach each project as a collaboration, often with governments, charities, and local villagers. And since we don't have anybody, a single person who's really in charge of us, our client is a community of people. And it's a very rich and complex, but very interesting way to work. So as a result, we also often practice architecture literally at the periphery. This is literally at the periphery of the established urban territory. Now, this doesn't mean that we don't work in cities, but for example, we work in informal urban villages, which are embedded in the proper formal city. This periphery is the boundary between rural and urban, on the front lines of the urbanization process. And the profession of the architect is not recognized here. There's currently no agency for architecture. Now, our sites have limitations on budget, construction techniques, and material availability. But we use these constraints to help drive our innovation in how architecture can be programmed and built. Our goal is to develop techniques and approaches demonstrating how the discipline of architecture has a decisive role in the transformation of these areas. From the smallest project to the biggest, the challenge is in architecture's ability to respond to much larger scale forces than itself. Therefore, we've been able to explore a variety of different programs ranging from hospitals, community centers, houses, schools, bridges, and even an entire village. Our approach is simple. We work with generic methods and materials to make site-specific architecture. We create new programs in response to emerging livelihoods. We enable adaptability and robustness in a rapidly changing context. And we make small projects in response to large-scale forces. The work we are showing is recently completed in a book that's been mentioned. This book represents about 8 years of activities and is focused entirely within China. It is a combination of research and architectural projects. So as many things, Rural Urban Framework began as a journey. It's a journey when I invited my partner, Joshua Bokover, along with me to visit my first project that was being completed, a small rural school. It's an 8-hour journey from Hong Kong through Shenzhen, through Dongguan, Guangzhou, Huaiji. So we passed through a number of rural and then rural-urban transitions. It revealed a landscape in transition containing adverse and contradictory relationships. We witnessed an exodus from rural villages causing new social structures. However, villagers continuing to build houses, resulting in a strange paradox, a huge increase in building density, even as the population declines. It's a very strange occurrence. We also witnessed contested sites with rapid new development adjacent to ruinous and abandoned fragments. Villagers who have become wealthy landlords, while others remain poor migrant laborers, often from the same village, as in this case. This man is part of the same village as the developers of the housing behind. You see, urbanization as a process is a very important process to engage because it's inevitable. However, the way in which you do it can actually generate more inequality or bring people to greater levels of comfort and wealth. So it's really the process that we're very interested in and how architecture engages that. So 1 year ago, a typical village in Guangzhou province looked like this. 6 months later, like this. And 6 months later, like this. So in 1 year, a dramatic transformation where there's no memory of the community before. So with the lack of regulatory measures and limited land for building houses, often villages in the countryside are denser than the cities. This often explains why we employ urban strategies even in the rural. These paradoxes testify to a new spatial logic, whereby the binary relationship, the classical relationship between rural and urban, is no longer clearly demarcated. In fact, it is sometimes not possible to distinguish from rural or urban. This could be this village, this could be the city, and I know this is really the case around the world. It's not just isolated to China. A takeover by not only sort of generic forms of building. Now, in China, it is very unique because they remain legally distinct and regulated through the household regulation policy. So at birth, every citizen is either an urban or rural citizen. It has recently become easier to change your status, but previously it was very, very difficult. This is, in order to express this is actually an image from a very interesting Chinese photographer, Guo Ronggong, who has taken images of twins after the age of 50 to see how, the effects of life has slowly transformed